Greetings to all my USHA family. It's good to be with y'all on this Thursday, Freedom Day. Hey, today we're gonna what is brother on? Sleep. All right, let him sleep. You know, cause for real, when you going through the process of healing, when you sleep, that gives your body a chance to start repairing things. You know? Some of us, me, I'm the opposite. My body repairs things because I make it remember what it was like before it got there. And I'm talking about when, like, you hurt your knee or you hurt your arm, you do something stupid. And it's painful, man, but you got to go, hey, if I let this be the norm, then it's going to become the norm. That's not. Being my best is my norm. So anything less than that, I got to move it, man. I mean, straight up. I've been doing it for a long time. I'm good at it. I got practice. Because I tell folks, today we're going to talk about food, but I always tell people, you know, when you decide to take on helping folks to heal themselves, because you're not healing them. You're just helping them to understand how to heal themselves. That's a hell of a challenge. Why? Because your body gonna get attacked. Your body gonna have to go through. So you have to prove to yourself that first you can heal you. Because that's gonna be the challenge. Folks think, oh, I learned how to help people and they don't know it's coming. And it's not gonna stop. It's always a challenge because we live in a world that's polluted. And because we're in that environment, there's certain things that's gonna attack our bodies that normally we won't have to deal with. So in order to be ready for that, you got to know how to fortify your body. And that's where we segue into food, because food is our biggest enemy. I'm going to tell y'all, our ancestors said, and people don't like when I say this, that food was a necessary evil. Why is that? Because we forget that food is fuel. It's to fuel our bodies to get energy to do stuff. Yes. There's a scripture that I know that says man should not live by bread alone. So that means your body can be fueled by the very spirit that lives in it. And that's the beautiful thing about fasting. Fasting allows your body to take a rest so that you can put more conscious energy into your energetic body. Because when we eat, remember what happens. It goes through our digestive system, get broken down, and then goes into our bloodstream to nourish whatever needs nourishment within that system. We use it to produce energy in our body to work. Yet in the society that we live in, food is an addiction more than any other. Food is one of the major causes of most diseases. And it's not that, it's just the type of food. It's the type of food in that we eat too much of that food. Hunger is a thought, like every other thought. So, if we know that hunger is a thought, and we have to eat, we go find something to eat. Well, you know what we do? We tell ourselves, man, I'm hungry. What you're doing is you're allowing, again, your body to dictate to you what you are. Habit. We all do it. I mean, growing up, what your mama say to you when you was growing up? Are you hungry? I know you're hungry, let me feed you. So it becomes a mechanism inside of us. But for real, it's the second greatest drive in our body. It's not the first. But since we're talking about food, we ain't going to talk about the first. We're going to stay right where we are. So, we know we have to eat, and then it comes down to what are we eating? Because even with the vegans, They call themselves vegan. I know they always ask me, hey man, you a vegan? No, I don't have no title for no food, man. I don't have no title for food, for eating. When did that become that I'm a vegetarian? I'm a, what do they call the ones that just eat fish? Pescatarian. Oh, they got all these isms. And it's just eating.
I eat the Sebi diet.
Oh Lord, we're not gonna talk. I'm purely alkaline. What are we doing? For real, we turning eating into a religion. We have allowed it to become something that is a force in our life that guides us instead of something that's part of maintaining this physical body that we have. I mean, there's nothing wrong with enjoying food. She'll tell you, I love to cook. But when I cook, it's the intent that you put in the food, too. See, we have forgot the basics of living. When you was younger, and your grandmama cooked a dish that everybody loved, and when you're eating that food, you be like, I mean, everybody at the table be like, this shit, it's good, man. And then they be like, Grandma, what you be putting in this? And what's the first thing she always tell you? I put love in that, honey. I put love in that, baby. That's that love I be putting in that food. That's intent that's going into that food. When you making your own food, you should be putting intent into that food. Saying, this food is going to be good. I do it with my dogs. When I'm making their food, I put good intent into their food because they know different than me. I put good intent in my food. Why would I not do it for them? And then, and at the time that you're cooking, you should be wanting to put good intent in your food because what are you doing? Thinking about what? That's why whenever something, I allow something outside of me to disrupt what's inside of me, I do not cook. I don't even like eating. Because I have to examine myself. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with me? So my body don't want to intake anything at that point. So, what are we eating? We went to our little opening for the show that we done, and they had food. This is the Pan-African Film Festival. Pan-African Film Festival. It wasn't not one African dish served. It was collard greens.
Well, you know, Pan-African are the...
Right, but it's supposed to be the whole African, American, all African, everywhere. All right, so. But what they served was greens. Collard greens, chicken, fried chicken.
Fried fish. Macaroni and cheese.
No, wait.
A cornbread muffin.
Do that not sound like your average black picnic? Your average family little outing when you go out for 4th of July, you go to the beach, or you have a barbecue in your uncle's backyard. The food is always the same.
This was a VIP reception.
And when it's not, you're going to hear complaints. What's all this? Because I used to make all kind of vegetarian dishes. I learned how to use mushrooms to do magic. And I would make all these dishes, and before they even tasted the dish, what is this? Where's the, but then when they taste it, oh, this is good, because people forget one simple thing. Food is not just tasteful in and of itself. Food, different things have different flavors. But what do? We flavor it to our palate. That's why you have all these herbs. Herbs they call spices. You use them and what happens? Your food becomes magic. It becomes tasteful. No matter, I make mushrooms. I have made a vegetarian enchilada. Vegetarian, what is that? The one they cut. Lasagna. I just use portobello mushrooms, chop them all up, fried them, all the water out of them, Well, sauteed all the water out of them. And then, after that, I add breadcrumbs and put it in some hot olive oil and quick fry. It becomes just like meat. And I have folks eat it and tell me, oh, it's some turkey meat or something in there. I said, no, it's no meat in there. It's just mushrooms. But it's how we prepare things. But more than anything, is our idea about food that be messing us up, man. It's killing us as a people. And being at that festival was a prime example. I'm like, well, is this still the garbage y'all want to keep eating? I mean, come on. Folks wonder why they have congestive heart failure, diabetes, high blood pressure. All you got to do is open up your refrigerator. Just open it. Most of us stack stuff in our refrigerator that just be sitting in there. So when folks go in your refrigerator and go, oh boy, you stacked up. Stacked up with garbage. I look at these stacked refrigerators and it makes me just, ooh, I be like, man. Then I look at them and I go, I see why you look like that. We have to make conscious decisions about what we are putting in our mouth, what it's going to do to us, and how it's being prepared, and who is preparing it. I don't like eating out, for real. I do not. I would prefer to cook any day before going out. I don't give a damn how good the restaurant is, because I was living in Chicago. There was a Chinese restaurant downstairs from me. It was on the corner. I remember coming downstairs and I walked around the corner because I was getting ready to walk. I don't know where I was walking to. But as I was walking, I saw two of the Asian guys in the court behind it, and it was fenced off. They had one of them, regular little fences. And I seen the guy dig all up in his nose. I mean, he was all up in it and then wiped it on his apron. And then the other one laughed, ha, 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 ha. And I'm looking at that. I said, what the? And the line for this particular Chinese restaurant used to be from that first little cabana bath all the way around that thing to the pool. That's how long that line was. Listen to me. I was appalled. I was like, what in the hell? So, when I came back, I saw them all. I saw the line. It was like on a Friday, too. I walked up in there. I said, hey, y'all shouldn't eat this food. They don't respect us. I said, I saw the guy, the cook, back there cooking your food right now, digging all up in his nose and wiped it on the apron, and the other one laughed. I said, y'all get ready to eat that. One brother stepped up. He said, hey, man, why you want to mess up our Friday? This the best Chinese. He said, this the best shrimp fried rice in Chicago. I was like, man, I don't care what the best of. I said, why are you defending this? But he jumped up in defense of wanting to eat it in spite. I could have told him, I saw him put shit on his hands and wipe it on his apron and go in there. He just still ate it. What is wrong with that? Something is wrong with that picture to me. That we don't care because it tastes good. Because it tastes good. I remember Pop used to tell me, because we from New Orleans. That's where he met my mother. That's where I was born. He used to say, hey, man, your hometown is the only place I know where they can cook up a pot of shit and make it taste good. I said, that is...
That's all over.
I said, that's disgusting. But it's true. Because like I say, what is it about? Seasoning. Palate. Hey, man, I'm always talking about being creative. We don't never think about being creative with our food. When we think of being creative, we think of making something that we can sell or something that people can ooh-ah about. But when it comes to just basic creativity, that encompasses every part of your existence. Every part. Your dress, what you use, how you use it, how you speak. creative expression. And the more we become aware of that, the more creative we become, especially in our kitchen. Because then you go, I'm trying to think of the name of this fruit. It's the one like breadfruit.
Jackfruit?
Jackfruit. Jackfruit? Man, that thing is amazing. I ain't lying. It is. I didn't see that cooked like it was pulled pork.
Mm-hmm.
And it have the same taste and texture. I was like, this is crazy.
If not better.
It is. You know, when you get that jackfruit right before it ripens, before it gets sweet, that thing is amazing. And then after it's sweet, I used to make sea moss jackfruit pudding.
Wow.
It was amazing. Simple to make. Why? Because of the consistency of the jackfruit and with the sea moss do is gel. So it was easy to make a pudding out of those two. But that's what I'm talking about, being creative in your own kitchen. But what happens? We routines are what they teach us. Because in school, when you was going to elementary school, you went to the cafeteria, you know what they was going to have on Monday? You know what they was going to have on Tuesday? You know it because they did it every time the same. Growing up in my house, my grandmama was Catholic. Well, not in my house because Sebi was different. But my grandmama was Catholic. But yet, he at one point was Islam. So fish on Friday was just part of our life. I mean, it was always fish. My grandmama felt it was a sin to eat anything other than fish on Friday. So, again, what we're taught. We're taught certain things about eating and how to prepare it that we don't see outside of that. When food is what we use to sustain our very bodies that we live in, like I said, it's fuel. So you putting a high-grade fuel in your body, what you going to get? You're going to get high-grade results. You put low-grade food in it, what you going to get? Low-grade results. And that's what a lot of people get, because the food that they're putting in this vehicle is of the lowest grade imaginable. I mean, almost all the farms in California and all across the United States are just ceasing to exist because Monsanto, and they wanting to be God over food, it's taking over the farms with all this genetically modified garbage. And it's sad that they're allowing them to do that when they're supposed to be the ones protecting the interests of the people. And that is the biggest lie ever. It's all about one thing. It's about commerce. So if you love yourself, be mindful of what you're getting. Try to find farmers, man, who you know farm organically. They'll let you know, I farm organic food. Yeah. So when we allow ourselves to start doing research, we do research about everything else. Why not research about what you're putting in your mouth? Because overall, when you're eating proper, it's going to help you. It's going to help you on so many levels. You feel good. You feel better about yourself. All because of one simple tweak in your lifestyle. I started when I was 18 years old. That's why I never had to go to the doctor. I ain't never spent the night in the hospital, other than when my second daughter was born, and she wouldn't have been born in the hospital had her mama not been so indoctrinated. But at any rate, I had to spend the night because they were telling me she had to stay. So I was like, I'm not leaving my child in your care. So I'll be right here. They got her out of there quick. They were talking about, well, she seemed like she's having trouble breathing. Talking about she may have pneumonia. I was like, well, I'm going to be right here. They did not want me there. But they wanted to just keep her and, get paid. That's all this about. So they're like, all right, here, you can take her. She can go today. I was like, yeah, that was the next day. I'm like, come on, girl, let's get the hell out of here. And this is one of those, I was working on the space shuttle maintenance. I was working for Rocketdyne. I was a chemist. I was making good money. I had the best insurance, full coverage. So I can go take my child anywhere. And I took her to the best, right close to the beach. So that she can get all them good vibrational frequencies as she's coming in. They don't, my son was going right up there in one of them huts. So, environment mean everything, but again, we're talking about food. And our idea about that food, I watch women cooking for their children, man. And, I mean, these younger women, I'm talking about from 45 down. It's tragic, man. I was like, well, I'm glad I wasn't a kid. I'm a kid at this time right now, because I look at the garbage that they be cooking for their kids. I be like, you really gonna cook that? And then, we have messed our youngsters up so much that they have these picky little ways of wanting to eat, and we adhere to it. Well, he really don't like eating this vegetable or that vegetable. He really don't like eating this, so I let him eat this. So I make this for them on the side. When I was growing up, me had told Sebi, I don't like eating that. I used to have to eat slimy okra, and I hated slimy okra. When I say that, you see how it responds. I hated slimy okra, man. And he would cook that okra, and when I see him taking out the pot, I don't want it. I'll be like, oh, that's disgusting. I had to eat it, though. That's why I don't eat slimy okra now. I eat it fried. I better be cooked well. If I see any slime, I am not eating it. It messed me up as a kid, man. It's amazing the things that we can remember about things that we put in our mouth that didn't respond good to our body. It stays there.
I just wanted to say, now, mothers, our kitchen is our medicine cabinet. There really is no excuse for if a child doesn't like something. There's so many ways and things you can look up online so you can introduce it to the children in a different way. But there really is no excuse to have the children running the kitchen when that is where you heal your family.
Exactly. I watched one of my nephews, man. He just ate himself big and couldn't breathe. And I was like, man, stop it. I said, you messing yourself up. I saw him, that was about, 13 years ago. I used to catch football with him all the time. He used to be out of breath. I was like, boy, when I saw him last, man, he was thinner than me. And good shape. I was so proud of him, man. He don't know. I almost went to tears. Why? Because he realized before it took over him that he could make a change, and he made that change. And that means everything. Why? Because it's helping us as a people to see that we don't have needs outside of our own actions. We don't have no need. We can do everything that's necessary to sustain our life. But it starts where? How we view ourselves. And what we've been taught have been all messed up. When it comes to food and everything else, it's messed up. It's like Sebi would say. He said, you don't take a polar bear and put him in the jungle and expect him to eat the food that the gorilla eats. He said, because if you take that polar bear and put him in the jungle where that gorilla is, that polar bear is going to die. Why? Because that's not what that polar bear lives on. And in the same breath, if you take that gorilla and you put him up there where that polar bear lives, that gorilla going to die, because the gorillas don't do nothing but eat bush. They eat greenery. They are vegetarians totally. Where that doggone polar bear, he is a carnivore. So then we have to be mindful of who we are and what we are in this space. I'm going to say this. I love fish. I love I love mushrooms. I love fowl. I love wild game. I done ate antelope. I done ate that. I don't see nothing wrong with it. It's not something that I do on a regular basis. What happened with us is that you think about, I would watch people when we would go to lunch. First of all, first thing in the morning they was having coffee, donuts, all over the office. Lunchtime come, oh man, some of the lunches, I would be like, you sure this is not your dinner? This is your lunch? Because it would be. And then, so think about that. You put in, I know folks was, look, they couldn't go past the McDonald's in the morning without going to get one of them breakfast muffins or whatever it is. 2 of them. That's every morning. Except for Saturday and Sunday when they went at work. And I know they was cooking it. So then, you going to lunch and, you know, you making good money, you're going to eat a good lunch. What they call a good lunch, steak, whatever it is that you love. And then, you get home and then you have dinner. All this stuff is stacked up on itself, and then you do the same thing the next day. And the same thing the next day. And folks come to me and go, I can't use the bathroom. I'm sure you can't use the bathroom. How can you when you have clogged, that's like putting grease down a pipe, and then it gets cold in that pipe. As soon as that grease gets cold, you put more grease down the pipe. Until the pipe can no longer take on no more grease, so ain't nothing flowing through that pipe. That's what we do. That is insane. That's why I say knowing things about how our body operates. We live in these bodies. We should know that. We should know that. We're more concerned about knowing what's happened in the daily news or what happened over here or what this entertainer done or what this Instagram thing said, and we forget about everything about ourselves. Yes.
So I wanted to say, you know, you can check out and find out a digestion table for foods like fruits, you know, go through and digest, not natural fruits. And I'm going to speak all naturally and organically. I don't want to say beyond organically because organic is a ploy, but beyond organically, just natural foods that and vegetables move through.
Hey, that's Audrey talking now. Since she's behind the camera, y'all can't see her, and she like talking.
I'm trying to help the conversation.
Okay,
people hang on. And then, so, you know, meats take, you know, some meats, they take years to digest, depending on what you're eating. And so, you know, just do some homework, look up digestion tables and what you're eating. Things that have preservatives in it. If it sits on the shelf, it sits in your body. That is just as simple as that. The fact that you chewed it up just means you moved its location, but it maintains its integrity as a preservative. So that's how you know if you're eating 5 times a day and you're eating things that, like he said, like grease that are clogging and just building up, that stuff is not moving. It's not moving. So, you know, you have to eat things that move and promote, you know, colon growth. That's why we are #1 in colon cancer, because of the things that we eat.
That sit there. It's not just that it's that it sits
right
inside of you. I mean, they say it takes to break down the average piece of meat 72 hours. I said that's what they say.
Yeah, that's not true.
All right, so they say that. That's one piece. Think about putting that in. All these pieces, all these days, every day. Every day.
Breakfast, lunch, dinner, in between.
Look, I like baleadas. You know what a baleada is? The homemade tortilla with just beans in it.
Oh, we know.
Hey, we're going to get to that later on in this conversation. Pin that, babe. Pin that.
Who run the baleada stand in Ethiopia, she was telling me that her stomach was hurting. Oh, how bad she was feeling. I said, okay, I'm going to some of my total cleanse. So I sold a thing of my total cleanse. I have my own website for total cleanse and stuff. It does the trick. But I gave her a pack for 500 little pills, because, you know, for them, that's like the price my herb would be, because I don't believe in just giving free stuff to people to help them, because then it don't help them. Because the universe requires us to put something in for what we expect out. And we should not ever, on no circumstance, look for something for nothing, because that don't exist in our universe. So, we was going to go to get some Valley Island one day, and I just said, go get the bag. I said, no, you go. She said, you normally go. I said, yeah, I don't feel like going messing with that lady. I'm not going. So we was in doing something with the pool. Oh, no. We was having our little ceremony. And all of a sudden, she walked up. I looked down like, what? She tracked me down and had the pack of Total Cleanse in her hand, because they worked that good in her. But I had to tell her, I said, look. She was like, I need more. I said, I gave her some CC4. I said, look, you need to stop eating meat. No cornate. No cornate. No boil, no cornate. She was like, pescado? I said, see, pescado. But, I mean, when you say no meat, it's like, no, I got to have some flesh. So, you know, here they fishermen. These people live in villages where they go fishing, so, you know, the fish is cool. The ocean is still polluted, but, you know, you make reservations. Like I say, put good intent in your meal. That helps.
The fish doesn't sit in you at that.
Excuse me?
The fish doesn't sit in you.
No, it don't. Our body break it down faster. But, you know, like everything, we like substituting things for things that we did on a regular basis. So when folks go, I'm going to eat fish, they just overeat. It's just crazy. And we don't see our motivation for consuming. You know, that's why they call most the folks in America consumers. You have consumers, you have politicians. The politicians talk amongst themselves with the business people who are part of the politicians and say, look, this is what the consumer needs. And who they talking about? They don't even refer to y'all as people. They don't refer to me as a person. I was considered to them a consumer. So they are always getting our attention to do what? Consume. That's why when we was in LA not long ago, man, I mean, everywhere you looked, food. It was crazy. We was like, this is wild, girl, because you don't see that here. I mean, you see food stands. I ain't saying you don't, but man, driving through LA, I grew up there. It's always been that way. I remember when I was younger, they had Dixie Burgers, and they had all these burger stands, Moms and Pops burger stands. They always had food. When I first got to LA, I didn't even know what a burrito was. That didn't exist in New Orleans. A burrito? What is it, man? What is that? I got in my cousin and said, hey, man, I got to take you to burrito. I was like, you know, when he said that, it took me down. I was like, because I had never heard of no burrito. I was like, a burrito? What is that? It's like a burrito, man. It has meat, cheese. I said, hey, what? He said, I got to take El Reyes. We going. So he took us to the burrito stand, and I'll tell you, that burrito was damn good. I was like, oh, man, why didn't they have these down there? But different places, you experience different things. I didn't know what burrito was. But what happens with us, and we become so caught in our traditional way of eating or doing things that we're not willing to make changes or to explore outside of our idea of food. Because there's so many choices. You have so many different types of mushrooms. You got oyster mushrooms, you got lobster mushrooms, you got lion mane mushrooms, you got morels, you got portobellos, you got creminis, you got, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And the things that you can do with it is just amazing. Look, Chanterelle mushrooms. Have anybody heard of chanterelle mushrooms? You heard of it?
The best.
They the highest. I saw a pound of them mushrooms for 41. It was 41 something a pound. I said, what the hell is in these mushrooms? 41. But when you eat them mushrooms, oh, they exquisite. You don't have to cook them long. I was up in.
And they call what?
They call chanterelle. Yeah, they good. I mean, they are good. So, I mean, food, creativity. When I was living in Baltimore, I was living in D.C. first. I would go to this little farmer's market across the street from the Yes Mart I would go to. And this sister and her family was making these sausage. It's making it out of plantain and mushrooms and spices, man. I'm telling you, them sausage was exquisite. But again, creativity. Man, if we would think about the time that we use doing nothing, we would get so much accomplished on every level of our life. But since food is one of the main things that got most of y'all here right now, that's what we talking about. Because it's nothing but food got you here. Unless you're here for entertainment. So, and the food that we have been taught to eat is the worst food for us. That was food for survival. That food was what, and think about it, even then, while brothers and sisters was in bondage, they was growing greens. They had their own garden over there where they were. Because they know they had to grow their food because their master wasn't going to do nothing.
Plus activity. They were moving around.
Working. Without working, didn't have a choice. Mm-hmm. But they had to get up and work all day, sun up to sundown. Imagine how, they was eating the garbage that they was throwing in them, and they made food, they made stuff that was edible, and they went out there and worked that stuff off. Mm-hmm. That's why they were like, man, these strong black men. Why? Because they was bodies in motion. We bodies supposed to be in motion. We ain't supposed to sit around like this with our feet kicked up, eating, and not doing nothing else. And it's even worse now because they got Uber Eats. They got all these delivery places where people just get on their cell phone and they go through the menu. Oh, y'all want that. I know we would order sushi sometime, bring it, have it sent right to the house. Be like, oh, babe, I feel like eating sushi. All right. There you go. Which one you want, babe? What roll you want? That's how easy they make it for folks to just sit and vegetate. Remember we was talking about vibrational frequencies. The vibrational frequencies of plants are two vibrations. What do they need? Plants have a need to eat and digest. So, in essence, you can say that is the vibration of eating and digesting. So, the third vibration is animal vibration. In that vibration, you have feelings and emotions, but the greatest drive in that vibration is procreation. All animals seek to procreate. So that's the real drive in that vibration. When a human being is vibrating at that vibration and they're not fulfilling their sexual drive, then what they fall to is their eating and digesting. So then that you see people that just get so big they become just like trees. They're immobile. They can't move. Why? Because they are stuck in the vibration of two, which is what? Eating and digesting. They can't do nothing. Go ahead.
So I just wanted to add solutions, right? The best thing to do to combat that is grow your own food. From your garden, wherever that is, inside, outside, the hoop house, however you got to make it happen, on the roof of your building, whatever you got to do, a alley down back that you convert or whatever you have to do. You should be involved in your own food. If you can't do it, then join a co-op somewhere in your town, and they're all over. You know, like you said, make sure it's organic, and find out somebody that's growing and lend them some support, some money towards it, so then you can, you know, reap some of the harvest. And, you know, come help pull some weeds, you know, help harvest when the crop comes in, you know, those kinds of. So you're still involved in, you know, what you're putting in your body. You have to.
That's even getting more involved now because you right where the source is coming from.
And I also want to add, so, you know, I had 6 children. You know, I was working in a corporation full time, traveling most, like 70% of the time. And I still maintained gardens that I ran and had members of. So, and I'm not saying that has, I'm saying you really do have the time. You really can have a garden. You really can put a tomato plant in the window in your house, or a pepper plant or something like that. And just start there. You know, you don't have to start massive, but be involved in what you are eating. I wanted to ask you, Brother Simon, there are some questions on Instagram. You want to take a question? It's 11:45, so. And I know we're not going to do diagnosis and healing everybody, but the sister's been very passionate about it, so I wanted to ask. Her sister has vertigo. What should she take for that? What can she do?
Tell you, mushrooms is good for vertigo. But
Psychedelic or just?
No, just mushrooms, period. And I'm going to be putting a product out called Chuck Moon Caps. I've known a couple of ladies who had vertigo, and I gave them that product, and it assisted them. So I'm going to be putting that product out real soon, so you guys be patient. I'm going to get it out there. Next question.
High blood pressure.
High blood pressure, you know, that's one of the things that I think black folks are totally unaware of when it comes to how our system functions. They measure our blood pressure on a chart that's designed for them. Our blood pressure ain't the same as theirs. So from their chart, our blood pressure always seems higher than them. It's like, oh, you on the verge, or you right there. And it's like, man, verge your ass out of here. All right? And we got to quit listening to that garbage, because high blood pressure, again, food. We're talking about food. What are you eating? If you're putting a lot of salt, a lot of starch, a lot of all these things that's bogging down your system, your high blood pressure not going to be high when your heart is pumping harder than it needs to be pumping.
Stress.
Job related. Most of stress is job related, family related, relationship related, relationship driven, because when you talk about a job, you still talk about relationships that you have within that environment. And so then what we have to remember is that when you allow something external from yourself to agitate you to the point to where you feel whatever, anger, shame, bitterness, I don't care what it is, it's changing the chemistry of your body. And in that chemistry change in your body is never to benefit your whole system. It's for flight or fight. Because you allow those chemicals to be released for no reason. Why? Because of your stress. We have mechanisms within our system that is triggered. There's triggers. And when those things are triggered, oh man, then you get, hey, now you having all this adrenaline and all these chemicals being produced in your body that you didn't need. Why? Only because of how you perceive what's going on external. How you think, and especially when you're working, we are so, we have messed ourselves up so much. We worry about everybody, how everybody else think about us, and yet forget how we think about ourselves. Why do you care about what anybody think about you? I've been moving all my life, gone. My family be like, are you part of this family? I would hear the craziest stuff. I did not care. I was like, well, you live your life the way you want to. I know this life that I'm in is mine, and I'm going to do with it what I want. So I was off on adventures. That's why I'm content with where I am right now, because Everything that I ever desired, I did. There's nothing left in me, in this earth, for me to desire, other than the life that I'm given. The earth has given me everything that I asked. Everything, including damn good health. And that's the most important thing. I mean, what's the use of amassing billions of dollars and you sick as a dog, and them billions can't help you? Because doctors are good at taking your money. They're saying, you know, you have this rare disease, and we're doing all that we can, but you know, only a few people in the whole world, and they get this giving you that rhetoric.
Steve Jobs.
But taking your money at the same time and just wave you on the way goodbye when you die. Yet, they pockets didn't filled. They are well satisfied. But you, hasta la vista. And that's why, you know, you have all this crazy stuff going on right now. People getting kidnapped for their organs because rich folks have the money to buy them. We got to realize what kind of world we living in. I think sometimes we let a lot of what's going on slip because it's not up front in your face, but it's a lot of ugly stuff going on that you have to be aware of. And to be aware means to be aware of everything all the time. We can't be running around. I tell folks, when I see folks with earbuds in their ear and they walking down the street, I be thinking they are insane. I'm like, you don't know what might happen where you need to be using your ears to hear what's going on, and yeah, you got this music blasting between your ears. You can't hear it. Man, awareness is a major it's major in our life in that we don't want to be aware. So we suffer from lack of being aware of what's going on around us. We suffer behind that.
How do we become more aware?
Pay attention. We pick and choose. No, we pick and choose what we pay attention to. And I tell folks that all the time. I say pay attention to everything. Give everything in your surroundings attention. When they're teaching folks to be operatives and all these highfalutin spies or whatever they are, they tell them, don't let nothing get by you. Take a look at everything. It's there. It's right here. All these trees, the grass, the bugs, all of it's all around us. We don't pay attention to anything. We are unaware until one bite our ass. And we go, damn it! When we was unaware that that bug had already been on us for 10 minutes. Oh, and there's a lot of them out here. They'll get on you, just sit and rage, you know, you're like, ah! And when you're aware, nothing get by you. Awareness is the key to our existence. And when we're aware of what we're putting in our house that we call food, we become more aware of ourselves because we're putting things in our body that's causing us to have what you call rhythmic flow. Because we're connected to the universe, whether you realize it or not. We are in a flow. But we have to become aware of it in order for it to have any meaning or any benefit to our existence right now. Simple. I mean, I look at all my buddies. I love seeing them. When I go back to LA, I look at them, I'll be like, you know what I'm saying? And they be like, how you still looking like that? What you mean how I'm still? They have most of my buddies is bald. They got Bozo the Clown loops in their head, and I be looking at them like I told y'all. Because at the time I was growing up, right when I became like, in my early 20s, Jerry curls was off the chain. And I want to tell you, it was a chemical mayhem going on. Because all the brothers that I knew had Jerry curls. They're like, man, when you get your cross, I ain't never getting no curls. I have never put chemicals in my hair, ever. Our head is our biggest pore. It's the biggest pore we have. And you putting lye and all kind of garbage. I mean, straight garbage. That we put on our biggest pore. But that's what I mean about being aware. Being aware means being aware of everything we do. Everything we see. Everything we say. Why not? Why wouldn't you want to be aware? That's what you do when folks be seeking to get high. Man, I want to take these mushrooms. What are you trying to do? You're trying to enhance your awareness. If you're not being aware on a regular basis, why would you want to enhance it? You make you aware of things you didn't want to be aware of. Why? Because you didn't take the time to start enhancing yourself. Now, it's all here. All here for us, man. I always say, I seek to help folks to understand one simple thing. To be the best them they can be. Understand, the only one can do that for you is you. Nobody outside of you can make you the best you can be. Nobody. Nobody can even give you the desire to be the best you can be. You have to decide you want to be the best you can be. And that's going to affect you at every level of your life. Why? Because if you're being the best you can be, you're only going to look for the best things to fuel yourself with. You're going to look for the best things to go into your brain. You're going to look for the best things to make you react in the best way you can. That's what being human is. Being human means that we embrace the totality of what this human body represents. And this human body represents transformation. That's what it really represents. That we are just like cocoons. We live in this physical body, but in the same time as we're living in it, we're supposed to be transforming it from the inside out, so that when we get to the end of our journey, we can just turn this body into light. That's really what it's all about. But we have gotten so far removed from that aspect of our existence, it don't exist. It really don't. I mean, you think about a kid growing up in the Jordan Down projects in LA. If they whole existence been spent in them projects, they don't know nothing about the outside world. This stuff don't even exist other than on TV. And for them, that's the only way it's going to exist. Why? Because, like I say, it's black magic going on in the ghettos all the time. We like crabs in the barrel, always pulling each other. No, you can't be better. You ain't better than me. Ain't nobody better than nobody. When somebody tell you you ain't better than me, that means they've already established in their mind that there's hierarchies that exist like that. So then if they telling you that you're not better than them, what they're really saying is they think that you're better than them. Why would they? I always ask them, oh, you think you're better? No, I don't think anything. Why do you think that? Because that didn't come out of my mouth. You can just hear what people are saying. And only because you decide to make changes that not everybody else is making. Hey, to really live this life, the best way it can be lived for you, you have to be so mindful of who you are and what you've come here to do. Because we are all here to fulfill a purpose that we came to fulfill so that we can be done with this. But this is just a school. The earth is a school. It's where we learn how to transform our consciousness into a higher state so that we can live on a higher vibration. Talk about that. That's what this body is for us to enjoy our creation. But we got caught up into illusionary creation of barbecue hamburgers and french fries, and lost it. All right, gonna wrap it up.
Just take about the Instagram.
All right. To all the Instagram followers, hey, thank you for joining me. Yeah, but I always try to be. I don't try to be. I am.